If Usyk beats Fury, I think Usyk retires, and I hope he does. And then
Pro boxing fans, we're here in Sheffield. Dave Coldwell, GBM performs again. It seemed to be a great show. Shaquille Thompson with a destructive performance. Just give me your thoughts on that one.
I thought it was outstanding. I think the whole show has been brilliant. I've really enjoyed working with the zone. The production, fantastic. You know, sold out arena. This isn't a small hall. This is an arena, and it was banged out. GBM have done a great show. The matchmaking was brilliant. The undercard was brilliant. We've had some great fights, great stoppages. Shaquille Thompson comes out in his hometown with the pressure on him, stepping up an opponent. First time he's topping a bill like this, delivers. Sensational. Feel sorry for River Wilson. Ben kept swinging right at the end. You know, all the way to the end, he kept swinging. Showed a lot of heart, but completely outgunned him there.
Eddie Hearn was here as well. Obviously, they had their weigh-in in between, which is different, but good for him to stay on, watch a few of the fights, and him and Izzy were doing interviews after, and it's good to see, even though he's a rival broadcaster, whilst he's shared the same broadcast, rival promoter, but whilst shared the same broadcast, it's good for them to sort of, talk.
You're on the same network, so why not? And it'll be good because, in time, as Izzy builds up, then maybe you get some cross promotion, fights between each other's stables. Maybe Eddie can't get fighters out, and he lends fighters to GBM shows. That's what we used to do. When I was promoting back in the day, we had matchroom fighters on my card. So maybe that's something that they can do. Fighters are always after dates. I'm sure that can work. But Eddie's been in his position, the new kid on the block and coming through. Also, it probably gets Izzy because he's got charisma as well, and he likes to chat like Eddie did, and so probably sees that as a little bit similar and wants to support. One thing about Eddie I will say is that he's not a fella that he doesn't try and keep you down there. He does try to give people a leg up until they become a competition.
But I think that's the nature of the game, right? That is the nature of the game. I do want to quickly talk about Anthony Joshua before I let you go. He is a talking point. That fight against Daniel Dubois is a talking point. He has come out and said, listen, he's going to carry on, which is fair play. Barry McGuigan's actually done an article which I was reading on the way here, and he said he's got 4 options realistically. He's got Fury, Dubois, Wilder, and retirement as a 4th option. He's eliminated that 4th option. For you, what's the best option out of them 3 if they were an option?
Listen, everybody wants to see a Fury fight still. So maybe wait until December 21st and see what happens there, and then see if you can get the Fury fight done. Because realistically, if he was to have the rematch, and I'm not saying he can't beat Dubois, but Dubois would go in there as a heavy favourite after a win like that. And if he was to get knocked out again, then it just makes that fight even further away, and it makes that fight even less valuable, not in terms of monetary, but in terms of spectacle. So I want to get that fight made as soon as possible. Failing that, then if Wilder's carrying on, then Wilder. I think he beats Wilder.
Can I ask you then, can Anthony Joshua become world champion again?
Well, listen, have you seen the state heavyweight division at the moment? All people. Joseph Parker, going back a couple of years ago, would you think that he'd be held in esteem as what he is now? Do you know what I mean? Daniel Dubois, yeah, exactly. So Daniel Dubois, forget after Joyce, but then Joyce and then Usyk. Don't forget Lorena in between where he got dropped against Kevin Lorena, right? So would you say that would be the man that everyone would be fearful of and say he's the, you know what I mean? And don't forget his performance against Usyk for the first 6 rounds as well. So this game, AJ looks after himself. One thing about him is a role model in terms of how he looks after himself, how dedicated he is, how he trains in between fights and everything. If he can get everything else clicking as well, why can't he become heavyweight champion again? If Usyk beats Fury, I think Usyk retires, and I hope he does. And then belts become vacant, and then it's hang on a minute, there's a vacant title shot. There you go. You don't know what happens.
From the article that I'm reading, Barry McGuigan saying he's had a lot of mental scoring in his previous losses. I think Carl Froch has also alluded to that Daniel Ruiz fight maybe took a lot out of him. Going off that, then, do you feel like that he has still got a lot to show? Do you feel like he can still, fight in front of 90,000 in Wembley and under the pressure, under the big lights, in a big fight?
I don't know, because I'm not in his brain. We can all guess, we can all put his opinions in and stuff, but I don't know, because you look at the experience that he's got, the amount of times he's fought at Wembley, the amount of times he's done Cardiff, he's been the lead for this country for a long time. So you would think that he's used to all the pressures and stuff like that, but he's only human. He's only human, and being under the spotlight consistently and forever, it must take its toll at times,
But it's like, even for us, now we're questioning AJ. Before, when AJ was in the 2 fights, everyone was saying, how wonderful this trajectory is. It's crazy because of how big he is. I compare him to like a David Beckham. Do you understand? When everything was going well for Beckham, it was fine. But as soon as something went wrong, you see the media jump on him.
That's how things are. People always, we used to have this saying: "You're only as good as your last fight." And that's how people view things. I think he's been brilliant, unbelievable sport. I got a stick because I've said what he's done for the sport. People like to. The problem that I have, I ain't got a problem with saying, "Oh, your last fight you were shit." So right now we can only judge, "Oh, you were shit." Yeah, fair enough. People can have that opinion. But I don't like this where when you get beat, people then start trying to tear down your accomplishments, and the value of those accomplishments go from there to there, because people it's like, are you stupid?
It's like I think Simon Jordan said in on TalkSport that he could be looking at his legacy in the rear view mirror, as in he's just passing him by with losses like this.
Do you know? Have you looked at Robert Duran's career? Have you looked at his career towards the end? How many losses he had on his record? Would you not still say that Robert Duran had an amazing career?
Considered legend in sport.
Would you say that Sugar Ray Leonard getting done by Terry Norris and struggling in fights before? Well, no, it's just his legacy's cool. His legacy's sorted. He's been amazing for the sport. A lot of fighters have had a leg up because of the enormous events that he's put on. I've had fighters on his undercards, so that have benefited from it. He's had people that aren't interested in boxing get involved in boxing, either participating or watching the sport, turning up. 90,000 people that are turning up at crowds. If they're all boxing fans, why aren't all the other shows selling 80s and 90,000s? No, because they're event fans, the people that are following Anthony Joshua. So I think his legacy in the sport's fantastic. He's a 2-time heavyweight champion. All right, Charles Martin was a gimme, but how many other fighters get gimmies for world title? A lot of fighters get world title shots when they don't deserve it. But then look at the fights that he had after that. He's beating like your Pulev, your Povetkins, Klitschko's. He's beating names in the division. Joseph Parker, he's beating a lot of good names. So he's got a good resume. He's got a good legacy. It's just fighters win and lose, and that's what happens.
It's life, but let's see what's next. Take Alex Shakes. I think he's looking to make the Dubois rematch anyway. So he's a man that sort of runs boxing right now. So let's see what's next.
What's going to happen? So if that's what he's saying, I don't see what else can happen really.
We're in a good place in boxing right now.
Yeah. Yes. Boxing's brilliant. I mean, we're getting the big fights. The fights are happening. From a personal point of view, I would just like more activity from Queensbury, from Matchroom, more activity in the UK, more shows. Yeah, but I understand they're constantly there and everywhere going. With international shows and Middle East shows, but the sport as a whole is in a great spot.
Dave Coldwell, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much. I know your daughter's been waiting there for so long, and I've got to apologise to her after this. I do apologise, but yeah,
keeping the feet on ground.
She's going to be a lot more famous than anyone in your household, by the way.
I hope so.
That's all right, Dave. Thank you very much, mate.